Let me show a little more about indexing really quickly. I'm going to do more and more on indexes as we learn more and more about processing. But in terms of just a runtime situation, I want to show you a little bit more how when you design them, people will see them at runtime. If we go in and we pick an automatic index, let's pick B this time, and let's build it on field 3, the company field. Okay, so I'll save that out. Let's go take a look at it and inquire, update, and add. And let's hit B. Now I'm at the index where it wants me to type in a record. Okay, let's say I type in U, just UN, and I hit enter. It's going to take me to the first record that starts with UN, and in this case it's the Uniserve, whatever. If I press browse, you could see that it starts at the U, and then it goes to UP and W, and I'm going up. Okay, let's go back to the index key by pressing delete, delete, or cancel, cancel. And instead of putting in an index here, we will put in just nothing. Let's just hit enter. And now let's browse. We see that there are 2 records in this file that have no company name. They're still in the automatic index. The automatic index took me to the first empty record because that's what I asked for. Here's a second empty record. But it's clear, it's very important to understand that automatic indexes do sort blank records before all the actual characters at AC, A, AL, and AM, and down to Bs and so forth. Very simple, very straightforward. If we're at the index prompt and we press F7, it takes us to the very last record in the file. If I were to press browse, you'd see there are no records below me, but I can go upwards, backwards, essentially through the alphabet, through other records. That's F7. It takes you to the very end of any automatic index. You don't have to type anything in at all. These are some just small important things. Next, let me go over a little bit more of how you can modify an index. If you notice, when I went into this company file, I went in by index, I picked B, and I hit enter. Got a long listing. I wanted to go directly to a record. Let's say we type in a record like Acme, which we saw type AC, and I hit enter, and then I hit the browse. They came in an order: Acme Nails, and Acme Nails Company, then Action, and some other stuff. So why did they come in this particular order? They did because we didn't specify anything more on that sort. When we defined the index, we said just company field. So let's go back to index B and add, let's add the last name. Let's add 2, last name, to the sort. Now it's going to index on by company, but if there's any more in anything in the last name rather, it's also going to use that when it gives us the index, when we look at an index. Let's go to 4, let's choose the company index, let's put in AC now, and hit enter. And by the way, do you see that it gives us the ability to put in a last name if we know it? I'm going to leave last name blank, I'm going to hit enter, and let's browse again. Okay, same order, but you see that now I can be sure that the order has come with H first under the last name field, then R, then S. That's absolutely going to be guaranteed now. It's always going to come in that order because I've told it to not only sort by this first segment, this first key field, but then use this as the next subsort and subsort and subsort all the way down. We can have up to 8 subsorts when you define an index. If we had wanted to, we could further. I'm sorry, I went to the wrong index. If we had wanted to, we could further sort by first name. Might not make a big difference, but that way we might have a company with 2 Smiths and so forth, and they have Robert and James or Fred or whoever. It may not change our sort, but if I go in and I look here and I pick the B index, but you also notice that now it's showing not only the company, but the last and the first. I can't get to it with the down or up arrow, but if I hit enter, I can get to it here. Let's put in the AC, and not really much. We'll see that we now have the same records in the H, R, and Smith, H, R, and S order. Let me show you how to deal with this, though. This is rather interesting that on the main index screen, when you see indexes, it shows all the segments. It takes up a lot of space, and really we know this is a main index by company. It's nice to know that it sorts by last name after that, but let's say we don't want to show that. To not show extra parts of an index, you go into the index creation program, you pick the index, and at this screen where they're showing the multiple keys, you press F8. for options. And on the options page, there's a way to put a comment on the index. You can also hide the index. If, for instance, I don't want any user to see this index, I just want to use it from within processing tables, I can do that. I can say, yes, hide this on all the times you show indexes. And that index will not be seen by the user, just by your processing tables. If I put a comment here, though, what I do generally when I have multiple field indexes, I put the name of the first sort field, then I put like a little arrow and I point towards the next sort field. In this case, let's shorten it down a little bit. No reason to go too long. Then I put another little arrow and say what the next sort field is. Excuse me. So here's the next sort field. Now this will be a comment when we view the index. This next choice tells me that do I want to put this comment in here without rebuilding the index? Well, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I'm going to press escape, and now when I press escape, it will actually rebuild the index. What if there were 500,000 records on an index, and all I want to do is change the comment? I might not want to rebuild it all. I can do that. That's what that option is for. But if I go in here now and I look, you'll see my comment instead of the 3 parts of the index. As long as you put a comment there, and my little stylistic way of doing it is just my way of doing it. There's no need for you to do it this way if you don't want to. But at least the user, they can see, oh, if I pick this index, I'm going to get company first, and then I can put last name and so forth. If I were good enough and I knew the company name was Acme and I knew that the guy I wanted started with HO, I could hit enter and possibly get it. I obviously didn't this time. Let's try Acme and let's try putting in H. See if we get anything. Nothing. I have to be very good about indexes to know how to fill in the keys so that I get things. Here's the name of the company is Acme Nails. And then the guy's last name is Hoban or whatever. If I put this index in now this way, if I know I want Acme and I don't want to waste my time going to the wrong record, I would have to actually put Acme Nails. Then I could put an HO or H, and so I want everybody in the Acme company, Acme Nails company, starting with the last name of H. Pretty sure I'm going to get that now if I hit enter, and I did. I go right to the first record that starts that way. If you have to fill in a segment of an index completely if you want to use the next segment. If you do something like this, you'll never find anything starting with anything more than Acme. The rule essentially, well, there are several rules. You can think of them any way you want, but the last field that you leave blank, FilePro is going to use everything before that to find the file. And if you have something filled in here, then the entire field before that has to match. It would have to say Acme Nails here, because this index will not see this as Acme space, 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 all the way to the end of the field, then HO, whatever. It knows that the word nails is in here. We're just typing in a few characters at a time to get to something. We don't want to have to type them all in at one time.